What's up everyone, Fox Hunter N313 here from Dorks Like Us. Of course, with a name like Fox Hunter N313, obviously I'm a Metal Gear fan. Well, I think it's obvious to anyone who's played Metal Gear. And I haven't done any Metal Gear related videos on this channel, I don't think, yet. I have done I did a few on my old channel, but not this one. So I wanted to drop one and talk about the future of the series, because you've got Konami's like community managers out there talking about there being more Metal Gears in the future. Now, before I go any further, I'm recording this with my selfie camera on my phone, and we're in the process of moving. That's why there's a big futon cushion behind me. My room's a mess, so I apologize. And for the quality of the video, usually I record audio, upload it to my computer, edit it, and load it up to YouTube. But I'm doing it just straight up this time because I just don't really have the time right now. And it might be a few more weeks before I get another video up, which is usually the case anyway, but just fair warning. I actually got a legitimate reason for it this time. But anyway, back to Metal Gear. So yeah, the Konami community managers out there are reassuring people there will be more Metal Gear console games, and just to be patient, and they're hoping they can win the fans back. Now, with this whole pachinko thing that's been going on with the Metal Gear Solid 3 pachinko machine, the fans getting all riled up over it. Look, there's no way they spent that much time and money making those gorgeous cutscenes for a slot machine. They're obviously going to use it with an actual Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. If I'm wrong about that, I'll be very surprised, but I doubt they went through all that work just for the pachinko machine. They could have just as easily taken the cutscenes from the remastered version of Metal Gear Solid 3 and put those in there. Or the HD version from the PS3. So I doubt that's all they're going to use those cutscenes for, is just for that. So just hold on to your horses. They're probably going to do a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. Now, that's not what I necessarily want to see from the Metal Gear series. Because there's a lot of different, and look, Metal Gear Solid 3 is a good game. It's not my favorite of the series. Personally, I know it's most people's, but it's not mine. And I don't necessarily think it's in dire need of a remake, personally. Now, would it look good? I mean, just based off those cutscenes, yeah, it would be great. And would I buy it? I'd buy it day one, sure. But the games that need the remakes the most is the Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake from the MSX. Because those games don't even fit within the story anymore. And I'm not talking about just what Metal Gear Solid 5 did to the first game, no. I'm talking about what Metal Gear Solid, the original, did to Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake in terms of the story retcons. The one glaring retcon that the fans love to overlook, because the first two Metal Gear Solid games did no wrong. They're absolutely perfect. It's always a zero-sum game with these fanboys. The first two Metal Gear Solid games did no wrong. The third game was good in some ways, and the other ones suck. But with Metal Gear Solid, if we go back to Metal Gear 2, it said in the prologue of the game that the world did away with nuclear weapons. That the only place that had nuclear weapons at that point was Zanzibar Land, Big Boss's little military outfit thing. It's outer heaven, essentially. But in Metal Gear Solid, at the end of the game, it's mentioned various points throughout if you listen to some of the optional codec stuff. And actually, I think it's mentioned in one of the cutscenes as well. But at the end of the game, it says that the U.S. has like 20 or 30 some thousand nukes. Russia has like 20 or 30 some thousand nukes, and they mentioned the START treaties, and it's mentioned in the story. It's actually one of the plot points. So just based off that, Metal Gear 2 cannot fit within the same universe as the rest of these games. Just after Metal Gear Solid 1, and that's not even taking into account the Big Boss to Solid Snake, I am your father thing, which wasn't in Metal Gear 2 either. So if any games need to be remade, it's those two. And if I were them, I would just remake both of them into one game. And I would have more faith in that project than I would, say, them rebooting it or just making a new sequel or a new entry into the current series. Because with that, there's already a foundation for the story. The baseline story is already there. Obviously, it has to be updated and all of that, but what you need is right there. It's already there. You just have to sort of modernize it a bit. and make it fit with the other games. So that's what I want to see, and that's the one that needs the remake. Metal Gear Solid 1, you could remake that one again if you wanted to. I would just remake the twin, or I would just remaster the Twin Snakes. I know people were, some fans didn't like that one. And with the Matrix cutscenes, that's subjective. With the additional gameplay elements, with the first person view, all the stuff they took from Metal Gear Solid 2, for people complaining about that stuff making the game too easy, that's optional. You can play the whole game without using the first person view mode. You can play the whole game without ever hanging from a ledge. You can go through those certain sections, like for instance, when you fight Sniper Wolf, you can just backtrack a little bit and get the PSG-1 tranquilizer. You can avoid that and just go all the way back to the first building and get the actual sniper rifle if you want to do it old school. If you choose to use the modern gameplay mechanics and choose to take advantage of some of the shortcuts, that's your choice to do so. You can't fault the game for that, and you can't fault the game designers for that. Just throwing it out there because it always pisses me off whenever I see people talking about the Twin Snakes. It never fails. They always talk about the additional gameplay mechanics making it too easy. It's optional stuff, people. It's optional stuff. Please stop complaining about optional stuff. Okay? Thanks. But anyway, they can remake Metal Gear Solid 1 if they want to. I suspect they'll probably remake all of them because that's the safe way to go. If they do original stuff, there's more of a chance of them screwing it up. And I mean, it's a smart business move. You take the older ones and remake them. I mean, I'm right there day one buying these games. I mean, there's obviously ones I want to see remade more than others, as I've already mentioned. But I'm right there day one. If they do a good job with them and stay as faithful to the original as possible, obviously I want these games sort of modernized. I don't want to play a game with an over the head camera, and have the square button be the fire button, and have like, oh, I got to press X a little bit to go into the crouch stance, but I got to press and hold on it to go all the way down, or use the whole pressure sensitivity thing. I just hated that. Modernize the gameplay mechanics a little bit, and you can change some of the story elements to better fit with the series as a whole. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on the subject. Let me know what you guys think if you're fans of the Metal Gear series. And hit the like button if you like the video. Subscribe to us if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more content from dorks like us. This is Fox Hunter and 313 signing off. God bless.